Good evening and welcome to MindFULL Live 396. I am your host Nathan Springer. Thank you for joining me. It is presently the 16th of the 5th month in the year of our Lord 2024. The year is speeding along. It's exam season. I hope those of you who are writing in this season are in full exam preparation mode. Good fortune on that. We're out here just discussing, talking tonight. It's the MindFULL Live, but on a Thursday, we on all nights we talk news, politics, culture, current affairs, that kind of stuff, with that more Trinidadian orientation, because that's where we are. We are in this beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, this paradise on earth that apparently doesn't exist. And on a Thursday, what we do is we just talk. We talk about whatever issues someone wants to join in the chat and talk about, or if there's a question or something like that. Ronnie says, I'm fighting for water. First time in almost 2 years since I moved in, though. Ronnie, what going on in Bago? I feel like I'm asking this every night. Ronnie, what going on in Bago? Why is Bago getting so spicy? I know you are a person always liming, oh, Prezi Ramsawak. That name actually sounds very familiar. Yui, what they call that? Guild? Is that same Kevin, Yui Guild? Yeah, Ronnie, what going on? Oh, you're in your house these days. So every night when I'm exiting, well, I remember you. Every night when I'm exiting and I say you all stay safe and stay inside. Inside good, outside sketchy. Right through, Ronnie. You're the one always telling the people, no, outside nice. Outside nice. Outside nice. Look now. Look now. Want the outside nice, Ronnie? Outside no longer nice. 556 and 556 corn start to share in Tobago like it giving away for free, and all of a sudden outside not nice anymore. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Tobago is being rigged for the elites to take over, Aram Narayan says. Like, even if that is true, people need to understand how much of a fool that seems to make the regular person. You're telling me that as a regular citizen, Tobagonians are just willingly getting violent and seeing up the place, setting the place up for elite people to take over their own island? Ronnie says, one of the boys who got shot yesterday used to line by me. Matter of fact, last week he was by me. Wait. When you say by you mean in your general vicinity, or you mean actually in your house by you? Good night, Rose Petal Angel Nick. Oh, you over in Bago too? As I asked Ronnie, what going on in Bago?
Rudy does line with the Gundas down there now.
Ronnie, you line with the goons?
Joking.
But Ronnie, weren't you saying, if it's outside your house, weren't you saying previously on another live that there seems to be a block formulating outside your house? RL says Tobago at the moment has very little economic activity. Now, little jobs, crime will increase as a result. RL, bro, I don't buy that, you know. I don't buy the I am unemployed, that's why I'm murdering people reasoning. That's just illogical to me. I don't buy it. And Tobago has been languishing with few opportunities for a long time now. Since when has it ever been that Tobago was an economic juggernaut? That jobs were just overflowing out there in Tobago? I don't think that was ever really the case. So something else must have changed, because the opportunities seem just about as they were. What am I buying? What do you mean buying, Kriska?
Good night.
Good night, Ronnie.
And you know something strange enough, the block up by me mash up.
Police?
God, disintegrate.
Police?
Whoever. No?
Okay, well, in that case, Ronnie, that actually does make sense. Because very often, the reason people kill in the underworld is for business reasons. Very often. Like, yes, there's the revenge and all of that. But very often it's about business opportunities. And if you are someone looking to enter into that business arena, and you start to see that business arena starts to have a lower life expectancy, you may be less inclined to lean in. Mr. Cross, is that cross or is that just people? Alright, blue people. I find it have too much racial profiling in this country. Times two. Everything is race. Really? Like, in this country, on a general, there's too much racial profiling. By whom? By the black police? Who is racial profiling? The African police majority are racially profiling the African majority violent crime perpetrators? What you talking about? What going to happen when we need each other in this world of Babylon? Listen, some people jump in the live and I feel they take a nice 50 piece, burn it hard, and run in the live to just talk. O'Reilly.
We're not going to blame it on the grass. It's not the grass, right? Like, it's not the grass. That's definitely not it. I find people are just a little bit too hysterical. Like, it's easy to get to that point now. Right? You know what I'm saying? Sure, Trinidad and Tobago have different races of people, and sure, we deal with certain things, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Not necessarily racial profiling. Like, that's something that's quite unique to maybe America and the UK. Because, okay, if we're being real about it, most police in Trinidad and Tobago is of African descent, and most of the what we will call the rank and file is of African descent. If you want to even assert that the higher up executives is of Indo descent, but they're not on the regular on the road anyway. So it's
but I don't even think you could assert that with any kind of factuality, you know.
Exactly.
Because even the higher ups generally are of the same makeup, the same demographic as the rank and file by and large. So I don't think it's a true thing in our context. It's something that is borrowed when people talk about that. It's just not the case here. I do think that profiling happens. Good night, Jackies. I do think some profiling happens, but I also think to some extent, like, I think people exaggerate profiling sometimes, and I think people are dishonest about how effective profiling is. Like, I used to say this. I'm a taller than average Afro-Trinbagonian guy. I understand. If I stop a taxi at 9 p.m. in the night and I see the taxi man slow down, he look, and then he accelerates and leaves, I will smile and I will understand. Like, why would I be angry at someone for doing something in their estimation makes them safer? Like, why would I be upset about that? And it has happened to me before. It has happened to me. I understand. And to some extent we have to be honest with this. I have been reading stories night in, night out about criminal activity and where the locations of the perpetrators are. Nearly every story we read, we can see where the location of the perpetrators are constantly. It is widely known. I saw another one recently. Some burger cart or gyros cart was robbed. When they found out the alleged identity of the possible perpetrator, same location. Like, at some point in time, if people say something about the geographical location, you're not going to say they are unfairly judging. You're going to say they are noticing patterns. Once you don't have that East Port of Spain, like Ariel says. And like, I find some people are really dishonest about this. There are different looks. I could dress a certain way and look differently. I could put on the all black Air Force, a big 3/4 and a wife beaters, or a plain white jersey. And listen, y'all mightn't want to be around Mindful too much. Or throw on a Clarks with no lace and sell off. It's sell off. Clarks with no lace, it all done. There are looks. There are looks out there. Fire flame. If you see, my hair getting a little thinner now, I life. But if you see, I could get them big plats to stand up all day. A 4 plats stand up. A Clarks with no lace. A 3/4 pants. Well, you're dead.
No, but is it true? Like, people literally make TikToks about this. Literally, like short documentary expose about, this is how the Trinidad Zesama looks. It's funny. It's obviously meant in that kind of jest, but it's true. It have a look. Let's be real. It have a look.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to if it's not a low fade with waves, it's definitely plats. And not no Travis Scott plats, by the way. It's 4 to 6 plats. Dead serious. A little beard, because the men out there have a big beard. They definitely have a little small beard. It's not a big beard necessarily. Prophet
Benjamin sang a song, Rastaman, we are the usual suspect. To be honest, I don't suspect Rastamen usually, and the Rastamen aren't the usual suspects to me, Dreddy is not who I'm worried about. Jackie says Clarks just get a bad name. It was such a classy brand in my days. Clarks is still a classy brand, You all need to understand, there's a transformation that occurs. You could wear an L stitch, well laced with dress clothes, classy stuff. Even a center stitch, you could pull it off, well laced in dress clothes. But you see that center stitch, if you take off the lace, stop tying the lace, and the Clarks is just a little flap that it laced on. So when it laced, the flap lies flat and gives the shoe a nice tucked look. You take off that lace and the flap of a kinda, it just stand up now and wiggling as you walk in. That look is a different look on the Clarks. Listen, it's still our old men out there rocking Clarks in the freshest of environments. You have to understand the context of the Clarks, how you transform the Clarks, makes it one thing or the other. Like, I remember there was an officer a long time ago in a discussion. He was talking about links in chains also, and he was saying even in gold chains, you watch the gold chains, and there are certain links that, generally speaking, law-abiding citizens don't rock. Law-abiding citizens may have a thick gold chain, but there are certain links. You see, when they beat it so thin, it's like a fish scale.
No, but I think it's they're not necessarily even wearing Clarks no more. they wear a lot of those Nike bubble shoes these days.
Jordans.
They wear Jordans too. They definitely wear Jordans.
To be honest,
I talk about.
when I look around these days at people in handcuffs, Jordans.
No, they definitely Jordan. They really wearing that bubble Nike.
Air Max, the Air Max.
Yeah, that Air Max.
Air Max and Jordans.
And
Air Max and Jordans.
Air Max in them. Air Max, them new Maxes and them.
And brother. Go look at the price of those new Air Maxes.
Oh no, it's ridiculous.
No wonder these fellas had to rob people every night. If you have to live in Jordans and Air Max, but you have to be a bandit, I could never be working for my hard-earned money and be buying Jordans and Air Max. How? I watch these men. They in a Jordans. The 3 baby mothers in Jordans and Air Max. And all the children in the baby Jordans. But how? Y'all have to be robbing people, man. No way.
And the starter kits be ridiculous too, man. You know, if it's not a cargo pants, it's a distress jeans. Most likely they buy a bootleg designer, because you know they can't buy that off the store, because off the store is a ridiculous price. And
you know what?
Jersey is either a bootleg designer jersey or the friend business.
You know, I notice in these days something coming into the usual suspect, but it's on the higher level. If you look at all the fellas who think they're playing a little more now, they aren't the riffraff out there. They making money. They making bank. They call themselves businessmen, but we know the kind of business some of them may run. True religion. But all these men in true religion these days.
Trues, they wear trues.
True religion. As I say it, you all go and notice. Look out for it. So, you see, these are important things, eh? You must understand. So as a young lady, if you're a young lady in the live right now, and you see a man, and he wearing Jordans, true religion, he have a Clarks without a lace home. He have the all black Air Force. Just by the clothing alone. You know, they say don't judge a book by the cover, but I find that to be a ridiculous prospect. Don't we make book covers so that people could judge the book?
That's correct. That's the whole point of the book cover.
All of these books you see behind me here, all of these books, the covers were made with the intention so that we could see the cover and have some judgment of what the book is.
Correct. That's it, true. But you know, don't judge a book by its cover, because you know that community, not everybody bad in that community, and that's true. But to try to state that just because the community isn't one block by itself with everybody being the same doesn't mean that we can say, alright, you see, he had a look. He had a look. And sure, the man might probably had a look. And he have nothing to go against it. Because I saw an article today where some youth men from his mover that got awarded for saving that person from the car accident.
Mm-hmm.
All them have a look.
I remember.
Young men descent.
And these things were taught to us by the older heads in communities, like my mother and the aunts and thing around. When the nephews and cousins start to get older and reach into the teenage years, they are asking you, but why are you dressing up like a bandit? So listen, you see political correctness that dies in typical Caribbean households. Mommy is going to tell you are dressing like a bandit. But how you looking like a bandit, so? Where you going looking like a bandit, so? You are police to hold you. The parents tell us that. And it's kind of ironic that young men reach a certain age and they get the taste of stupidity so strong that of all the looks you want to mimic out there, you want to go out a road looking like a bandit. You have the hustler purse. You don't even have a little herbs in it. all you have in it is your passage and your phone and a charger. You go in and get rubbed down by the police, and you only have your phone and charger in your hustler police. Like, why are you dressing like the men? What you doing now? But anyway, fellas dress like bandits and girls dress like prostitutes at that age. So what we could do?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now the aesthetics, you know. It's no, it's fashion. It's aesthetics. Like that's okay. Dress is a cultural thing. Like dressing with clothes is a cultural thing. It never not been a thing. So I understand to a certain extent wanting certain fashionable items, but you have to understand that with certain fashionable items, and then how your ethnic makeup is, you come with a little beat-up landfill behind you. You know what I'm saying? You come with that. That's just the truth. Because let me be real. A white man in an Air Force, a white Air Force, and a true religion, and a little bag strapped around his chest, he ain't gonna get rubbed up by the police. Let's be real. I had to do the racism. That's just the truth. He ain't gonna get rubbed up.
And like, you know, it's not race, as you're saying, it's not race, you know, really and truly, because listen, there are some Indian fellas out there have the look too, you know. You think, I think some people live their whole life in the West or in Port of Spain, and they didn't grow up knowing that there are some people of East Indian descent. The people in the community was saying that, you know. These fellas was real wicked men, you know. The people in a whole community cheering that two little brothers get killed, two little nice Indian boys get killed by the police, and the community cheering. How could they do such a thing? How did that happen? Listen. The look is there. The look is there, and to me, it's something I constantly wonder. I find it something much more in the modern context, and that is a signal of where parenting may be lapsing and going a little more laxed. Because in the 90s, it would have been much rarer. You go to a school bazaar in the 90s, and the children dress like children. They dress like children. You see some jumpers and, you know, some Farmer Browns there, and classy dress too, but there's a different dress. Now, you go to school events, and most of the boys have the look. Like, bro, why is your style bandit chic? How is this your fashion taste? And to me, that's where you get into some of the problems with like the Trinidad music and all of that. Queenish says, exactly, parents are funding these dress codes. It starts from home. Exactly. These children aren't doing that with their own money. They works nowhere. They draws no pay. So the parents are funding that. If you fund them into the culture, do you think only the dress code is a possibility? And I sometimes see, I remember I was looking last week, and I had a whole team of fellas inside of C3 or something showing 7 sign, man. Them is 7 this, 7 that. I watched, there was a trend one point in time where children in school throwing up gangs, and the reality is these gangs are real, you know. There are real gangs in Trinidad. This isn't, you know, back in the days when it's the 2000s and we're looking at BET and MTV and we faking Bloods and Crips in Trinidad and Tobago and the blue and the red, and there aren't any real Bloods and Crips in Trinidad and Tobago. So you could wear a whole red suit and go down in the mall and feel like a Blood, but nobody's going to kill you for that. But we do have those number gang people here in Trinidad. And allegedly, one side is allegedly trying their utmost best to kill someone over lyrics in a song. So, you and your fast little innocent self take mommy money to push a gangster image. How is that going to turn out? I remember Rebel 6, one of the original Trinidad artists, when he was murdered, his mother said that he wasn't in anything, he was just singing. Now, I don't know if that's true because mothers say that all the time and it's not true. But if that's the case, that makes it even more sad. If you were not actually involved in any gang stuff, you just like the culture and get yourself so intertwined in the culture that someone was willing to kill you over it. How sad would that be? I know he was from Bonnie, but he also had connections in St. Paul's.
The man name was Rebel 6. It just, no, the point about it, not even go down that road. The fact that the man died is the fact of why he died is because he didn't pull up to the meeting, say that they was trying to have the truce about, and he literally said he don't want no truce. So that's one thing there, right? So he had affiliations with gangs. That's just the truth of the matter. Just like how Prince One, he have affiliation with gangs.
So I say me playing that game. I out.
He does out, right? So the thing about it is that that's just the thing. Aesthetics is good. Like aesthetics is what it is. Like, and if you really take a look at it, because black people never like to talk about these things, but I like to talk about these things because me, I'm of a man of dark melanin hue. You know what I'm saying? And my hair kind of, when my hair comb, it kind of spark now, boy. So the whole thing about it,
DIL.
I like to talk about it. Yeah. I like to talk about it because black people are very much in tune with aesthetics and very much into cultural stuff like that. So the thing about it is that we get hooked on it very easily. And it's not only black Americans, it's black people all over the Caribbean, in the UK. We are in tune with this entertainment side of things, and we think that this is nice and trendy, and it's aesthetics, and the women like it, and the men like it, and we don't understand that, hey, you play that dangerous game in a subculture that they're already playing them kind of game. You understand what I'm saying? Because you think that it's good to dress like that because you not within that, but you giving yourself a bad rep at the end of the day. And you're not even in the life. It's like, calm down. Wear your clothing, but calm it down. Don't imitate the look. Wear clothes, just don't imitate the look. That's all.
Some say evolution made us tribal. Well, whether you believe in evolution or not, we are tribal as a species. Human beings are tribal species. We have affinities to our in-group. Nearly everyone has some level of in-group bias. Good night, Splinter Cell. So tribalness or tribality is a normal, natural human thing. And that's what gangsters work on. So Splinter Cell said the most common factor in all this gangs and gangsters is laziness, super laziness. I agree. Laziness is a major factor in a lot of criminal activity because many criminals are lazy. That's why I usually say that threatening criminals with the hangman's noose and to hang them and all of that, I think that's not the good threat. Threaten them with work. Tell them that if you're arrested, you will work for the rest of your life. That's what you're going to do. Wake up 6 o'clock, put in an honest day's work, and go to sleep after. And you will do that every day till you die. Oh, that's what they will be scared of. Trust me, because they're lazy bad. Plenty of them. Lazy, bad. They ain't brush the teeth in a week. But beside the laziness side, there's a tribal nature. And it's people who have that charismatic bend naturally are able very often to prey on humans' tribal natures. So the mustache guy from World War II, that's what he did. He played on the tribal nature, the in-group bias. We are Germans. The first people, descendants of Adam. And you get the feeling we, us, our people. And when you get us, you have them. And you could get us stronger. The stronger you get us, the easier it is to get people to not want them in there. So the tribal nature of humans makes the creation of gangs very easy. It's a pretty straightforward thing, especially when you have young misguided boys. In fact, it might be the default. Like if you take a couple hundred young misguided boys, throw them in a scenario where they must repeatedly interact with each other, gangs would almost inevitably be what comes out of it. That's how we work. Somebody who is more charismatic, who is a bit more clever, gets ahead. They get people who have some affinity for them for whatever reason. They get their commonality through whatever means they get their commonality, and you're going to get gangs forming. It's just what's going to happen with young misguided men. That's why you're supposed to have guidance for these men. But you don't.
Okay. So I just wanted to, stick a pin.
Yeah.
Talking about statics. Who drew that pretty picture in the back there? With you and your wife.
A friend of ours, Ariel.
It's a child.
Huh?
It's a child.
No, it's not a child. It's not a child.
Well, probably I'm not seeing it well. That's nice.
No, it's actually a relatively good drawing.
Oh, it looked nice. I thought it was Lily, but that's cute.
How Lily drawing that one? Behave yourself, Ronnie.
To have that level of artistic fortitude, that's amazing. Just two frames of two two bodies. Because I seen it from August, right? I know, but I literally see it. Exactly, you expect a body about it. Oh, well, okay. This is crazy. So yeah, it looked nice. Wow. That is
crazy.
It could never be scratched. That's crazy. No, that's crazy. Because that could never be two stick figures of me. No, you see me working on the car. No, it could never be that you see it. You could see. That's crazy. You think I come to Bego to watch Goat Race? I working on the car. Like, that don't make sense. Like, all you see is that as two stick figure of me. No, understand. Probably I don't have blood pressure. Before you see it, let us buy Ronnie your glasses. You're backing at me.
Ronnie, you need to buy yourself a glasses. Eh? All this lime you liming every night. But buy Ronnie your glasses. Splinter says I'm going to push this hard, sir. We want laws to make this happen, working hard as punishment. I agree. Listen.
Right.
I am of the view, if you ask me about my view of punishment for prison, I am not a rehabilitative prison person, I don't think the primary purpose of prisons is for rehabilitation. I don't. It might sound unkind if we had our resident bleeding heart, Michelle, on the inside. She may have been offended at that idea, but I don't think the primary purpose of prisons is to rehabilitate people. It's to separate them from society and then punish them. If by chance we perhaps might be able to maybe rehabilitate them somewhere along the line, grand. So for me, I find too many people get prison sentences without strokes. Why we don't have more whippings? Like, I feel it's much more punishment for a gangster to be whipped in Woodford Square than for them to be hung. They don't care. They're dead. They're dead. They don't have anything to feel. But if every month for a year you are drawn out in front of the promenade and caressed a few strokes, at 20 strokes, you cry, they put you back in the bus and then go back. I don't know. However they set it up.
But you're supposed to get cleared medically for strokes, right?
Okay, fine. Reeve says I wouldn't want to see that now. Listen, I don't mind. I don't mind. Listen. Can you imagine one of these fellas, and you know how they like to ring it, them fellas who go into the groceries and tapping up big men, boy, give me a phone, boy, go down on the ground, boy, so and cussing people from outside, so and the bad. And imagine them crying with licks on the promenade. I think that's the kind of balance that the society needs. Reeve says that too uncivilized for me. And I think that's the problem with Western culture. I think Western culture has an erroneous assumption that human beings have evolved to being more civilized species than we actually are. We are not as civilized as we believe. People are shooting each other, mothers, children in Tobago from a side, 3 at a time, 4 at a time. What are you talking about civilized? Those sound like civilized people to you? Civilized. Your problem is you assume you live in the Jetsons world while you actually live in the Flintstones universe. You assume way more civility on the world than there is. So lots of people like to talk about, these advanced concepts of human rights and civilized this and civilized that and the other 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 and the other. And the moment something goes wrong, it all goes back to us trying to kill each other. Israel is the most civilized state in the Middle East. How are they trying to solve their issues right now? Guns and bombs.
I don't think the whole point, you see, people try to talk this civilized thing in terms of how humans live, not in how humans act. Like, people believe humans are civilized in terms of we live in a house, and we have cars, and we go to jobs, and we juxtapose that with, well, uncivilized means that we live off the land, and we wear loin clothes, and we live in mud huts, and I'm like, what? Well, humans have been doing the same thing in mud huts that we do in concrete house with best creek blocks now. We do the same thing. We eat the same, we chat the same.
Exactly, Sylvan.
Possibly, we do certain things differently now due to the fact that, cultural shifts and that kind of happen. So we do certain things differently. But to the core, humans are animals and we do the same thing. We fight for the same things. We have always fought. We just do it in a different way. That's it. And murder is murder. Killing is killing. We do the same thing that we always do. That's it.
Yes, I can't remember the exact name of the piece. When Africa came or some kind of thing like that, with a weird tinge like that. A report on what happened after Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. And they were saying that a lot of the news media in the United States were embarrassed to report the facts of what happened. Go read what happened in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. And I'm not talking about where they said George Bush don't like black people and all of that kind of rubbish. No. What the people did to each other, the piles of bodies, the roving groups of rapists. One hurricane in the most civilized society the world has ever seen. Come on. We're not as civilized as we think. And the idea that raw human drives no longer motivate us. So we're no longer motivated by humiliation away from it. We're no longer motivated by pride towards it. We're no longer motivated by loyalty. That's a lie. We still are motivated by those common basal human urges. Alright, we live in a complicated world with layers of technology that could make it seem like those things aren't real. But at the end of the day, we still have bank tellers going with gangster men who ain't good for nothing. We still have members of parliament with bad men out there. Why? And we are shocked about this. Why? Because we still have the same basal human urges we always had. And the idea that somehow these people are more advanced and civil, it's a lie. It's a lie. They take off their clothes and feces drops out of their rectal area just like everyone else. intercourse and copulation has the same mixture of fluids that could seem disgusting and animalistic like everybody else. It's the same people.
No, it's the same thing. But listen, I rather that has sense something. That's what I hear. That's what I see. And when people hear me say that, they're like, no. We are past shows. Where are we past dynamics of
we will never be past those things. Reeves says, well, if we're not civilized, best we don't bother make any kind of progress. Then that's not what I'm saying. That's not at all what I'm saying. I am saying that civilization, what civilization does, and to answer Riley also, so civilization doesn't exist. It does exist. And civilization's aim is to try to create layers to remove humans from that basal animalistic side so that there's some complexity. So like I spoke about this when dealing with law enforcement. The idea of law enforcement isn't just to protect people. It's to quell the human natural urge for justice. Humans have a natural urge for justice. It's natural. We get civilized, and what we do, we attempt to create a system to attempt so we could place all our natural urge for justice into the law enforcement and judicial system, and they would in a much more orderly manner take care of that. But here's the thing, and I said this before. If the system where our natural human urges are supposed to be given respite, if that system begins failing, the human urges are still there. Did you just shut off electricity and water for a few months? You would see how civilized we become. Exactly. And part of, understand what I'm saying in all of this. In all of this, I'm not saying that society and civilization should unravel. I am saying that we must look at how we treat people like criminals carefully. What did society do to criminals up until recently? We threw them out of civilization. Mr. A major difference between humans and animals is delayed gratification. Yes, I don't understand the relevance of that to the whole topic. Yeah, we threw them out. So, okay, you do not want to abide by the rules of our civilized society, so we throw you out. Now, we don't have enough open land out there to throw people out anymore. So we must keep them while throwing them out. So how do you expect to break the rules of our common society, but then you want all of us to treat you like a civilized member of our common society? What? Animals don't look down the road for consequences. Okay. I again don't understand the relevance of that to what I'm saying. Is as soon as we feel threatened, all civilization goes out the door, correct? I'll not even that far, just shut off the internet, correct? Maslow hierarchy of needs. I don't think he was 100% right, but he made a good point.
Okay, so my take on this prison thing. And not to
Ronnie, you want to kill people and thing out there, so you careful about civilized talk.
I don't say nothing about civilized or uncivilized, but I would always find a humane way of dealing with things, so anyway.
Licks is humane.
Huh?
Licks is humane.
Listen, I'm not saying no. I wouldn't be walking through the square that day.
So wait. Reeves says, I understand prison and I understand hanging, but you see that public flogging. Okay. So Reeve, if you had an option between 20 strokes, prison, and death, you're saying the 20 strokes are torture compared to depriving you of your freedom for years and killing you? The strokes is what you see, this is what I'm saying about what we consider civilized in our Western society. It is so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. This is so uncivilized. How could we? And you would kill the people.
You know how quickly, no, let's go to this. I'm really not getting to see what I want to see, and I'm not like that. Thank you very much.
Finish what you're saying now, Ronnie.
Yeah. So for me, the prison thing, I don't like the fact that somebody could commit a crime and us law-abiding citizens, hard-working citizens have to pay to take care of them. I hate that. So for me personally, I think that prisoners should, part of your sentence should be you like doing some farm work or something, feed the prison and feed the hospitals, because the hospitals will have a choice. But the prisoners should feed the hospital and they should feed the prison, because in all honesty, it's kind of unfair that you could just do what you want to do and go and sit down inside and you literally living your best life, calling shot on people, getting people to send you phone card, and you living like a king inside.
Ronnie, a question here. What do they call it when they force labor from you and don't give you the reward of your labor? There's a word for that.
No, it's half ways. They just give people money. They just get like.
Yeah, but you're forcing my labor. What do they call it when someone takes your labor forcefully?
Okay, fine. If you want to call it that, but you forfeit your right to your freedom.
Oh, so you forfeit your right, and we could enslave you. But God forbid we hit your 20 strokes.
It's only fast. It's only for you. It's only okay. So your freedom will be gone personally with whatever you do. So if you rob somebody, your freedom might be gone for like a year. If you murder somebody, your freedom gone for life because you take that person's life anyway. So whatever, life for life. But I'm not saying you can't beat the people on them. I'm not saying that. I am simply saying that I will not be able to bear it.
Well, that's why we don't want women in leadership anyhow. Go back in the house and make a sandwich.
No problem.
You cannot take you cannot do what it is necessary to lead this country out of the violence.
Never say I could.
Yeah, what's going on, Hotel? Yeah.
But he write that about this state that you are not nobody can own another person's property unless they have committed a crime under the statutes or the jurisprudence, right? So in fact, all prisoners in America are fundamental. But you know, it didn't have some America right now. Why are you punishing the within prison? That human. You know what's funny is that everybody in this life is right now, and there's people. Let's instrument public shootings like they do in Yemen.
Yes, bro.
Is he opinion to the ship? Is he opinion to the ship? No, I get it. I understand wanting to shoot at things that's happening. I understand that wanting to shoot and children. But it's the same. Like if you can bear to see a man get 20 lashes in his way, but you can bear to see a man put an AK-47 back of another man's head and blow it right out and you wait something back up the way. Death! Then all of them here make it. That's crazy.
That's
I can't bear to witness that either. Listen, y'all don't understand. Them things will fool me up. I don't want to see nobody dead at all. I don't want to see it.
But Ronnie, you understand almost all of those things. Have you ever seen the video? Where A chat came up there and I get lost. Have you ever seen a video where police arrest somebody and they begging? Oh gosh, man, and they crying. Listen, some of those bandits could break your heart, you know. If you are given to feeling feelings, then you can't get involved in any of that. Even taking away someone's freedom is a heartbreaking thing. You watch them with their child. They may have a child, and the child crying and bawling for their daddy. And you go in and take that man and throw him in jail, boy? Or you mean heartless, boy? Or you wicked, boy? And the funny thing with a lot of it and the bleeding heart, as Hotep was rightfully pointing out, many people throw away the bleeding heart once the problem reaches their door, you know. If it is that a bandit robbed them when they had the last, and the bandit gone with that, and they hold on to the man and they have a 2x4, they're beating him till they break something. And they would be cool with that. That make real sense. But if we decide as a society, then no, boy, that's so uncivilized and cruel.
Uncivil. And this is why I advocate for the fact that citizens of Trinidad and Tobago need to have their firearms. I say put a nice little exit wound in the back of a criminal's body. You see, this is the thing, and you see this data. This is the thing I'm talking about. This bleeding heart, Western world. My God, that too inhumane. When the criminals have no heart for you, no humanity for you, will run in your house, take everything, do a law-abiding citizen and all your family and you, and leave you with nothing. But we want to talk about. The man who took revenge in law-abiding citizen was wrong, and he was wrong. No, he was vindicated. That's what happens when it.
In that situation, can you imagine then? How are you going to do self-defense if you can't watch a man be hurt? If someone come, would you be able to defend yourself?
Well, defending yourself is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Defending yourself. But it kind of, again, like for me, I don't look away if that is what I decide to do, right? Because it could be kind of hard for me to watch somebody tie up. You know, I never watch Passion of the Christ. I never watched that show. I couldn't bring myself to watching it.
It wasn't that bad, man.
Because you see that part with it, you know, again. That like something that was break my heart. You know?
And like for me,
it's really a little difficult, but if that is what they come with, I would come with. But
Reeves saying it's not about watching a man be hurt, it's about the callousness of the sentiment you're saying. No, I don't think that's a callous thing. Like, Western society has become so ridiculously, hypocritically soft. People being beaten was a normal. You go to nearly anywhere else in the world and that's a normal part of things. The gorillas do it too, if you will. But I don't think that's callous. I think that's caring for society. That's what that is. It's not about callousness, it's about caring for society. It's about wanting things to get better in society. Like, Reeve, you have to be able to think like a daddy, not like a mommy. Where discipline could do with some what may seem difficult in the moment if it helps in the long run. It's not only about letting your heart bleed over everything. That doesn't help issues. I find you advocating apathy to brutalizing people, and to me that's not normal. What are you talking about apathy? Apathy means you don't care about the brutalizing. I care about the brutalizing. That's why I want the brutalizers to be punished. You sound like you care so much about the brutalizers that when they are caught, you want nothing to happen to them. You know what? We just need to feed them and put them there. No. You are punished for what you did. You are apathetic to the suffering of the innocent. You care more of the suffering of the guilty. How is that being caring? You are callous towards the suffering of the innocent. You would watch the innocent suffer and say, I care more for the feelings and the hurt of the guilty person. So innocent person, nothing comes of that. What? No, I'm not saying I care about the guilty suffer, but literally that's what you're saying, Reeve. You are literally saying that it's too callous to punish the guilty. If we beat the guilty person and embarrass them on the promenade, that's too callous. But if the guilty person grab your mother purse and slap she across she ears on Charlotte Street, that is, well, you know, he was hungry and we understand, so we just want to hold him and put him to feed him in what? No, I want to see you stroked. That's not callous. I care about mama who was slapped on Charlotte Street by this brutish thug. And this brutish thug obviously didn't get enough licks when he was growing up. So as a society, we will take care of that. Shreve says my stance is that I don't find something like that should be public exhibition. What?
It should be a private flogging.
So you don't want punishment, Reeve? Reeve, I don't think you have children yet.
No.
But you're going to get children and you'd have to understand punishment.
I'd ask the question if the point is really about it being publicized versus it being a private thing. Because okay, if we allow the state to execute punishments within the jail outside of our side, would Reeve and Ronnie be okay with this sort of punishment?
We don't have people in jail on display like zoos. Everybody in jail is on public record of being in jail. Everybody in jail has a picture taken that can be displayed of them. We put them in closed cages away from the light because that's convenient. That's a matter of convenience. Listen,
that's true.
What we want, the reason we want to punish people and separate them from society is to act as a deterrent. We don't want people to look at punishment from that prisoners get and be like, you know, that's not so bad, you know. You know, that seems alright, I could take that. No, we want them to look at the punishment the prisoners get and say, I cannot take that. I will do everything possible to make sure I don't end up there. We don't want it nice.
I still.
Ronnie, go ahead.
I said I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I still wouldn't be able to say, you know. So that's for me.
Well, don't turn your TV on channel 12.
No, I won't.
Don't turn your TV on channel 12. Right, just listen. I don't understand. Do y'all know how the tension was before we had big concrete prisons? When you was in the village, you had to pass the prisoner every day, because the little detention center was right there. You had to pass him every day, watch him not eat, watch him not sleep. Because there was no mega prisons to put them in and put them offshore and all this kind of nonsense we have today. Back in the day when it had community justice, this communal thing you all have to talk about, they used to put the prisoners in small huts right there outside the village. You had to pass them every day, you had to go to work, and they're begging for a morsel. Is you all serious?
You know what was... Go ahead, Ronnie, finish.
Well, I just want to say, you know, so they say, you know, you're not parent, blah, blah, blah. I see parents come up in school to beat the children, right? To humiliate them into acting right. You can see my doing the air quotes, right? And I don't know if the children were better for it. But
I don't think children would be better for it because I don't think children are sociopathic 20-year-olds.
Okay. Well, one thing with me, I don't like embarrassment. And I think for me...
I don't think anybody likes embarrassment. And that's the point.
Me, I would turn into the greatest menace the society has ever seen.
And what if you are already the greatest menace the society has ever seen, Ronnie? Then I don't care about... Listen, you know what that is, Ronnie? That is the little boy when daddy beating him. He promises, I'm going to beat on my father and I'm going to run away. That's what is happening. You are thinking about that and the embarrassment of it and saying, I have to get punishment in society. But you aren't going to get it. You are going to be impotent and Granny is going to laugh at you on the promenade as you get licks. That's the point. And listen, Humans understood this at one point in time. This was plain knowledge to all humans at one point in time. At one point, prisoners were kept in the stocks. You all know what these stocks are and where these stocks were? They were in the city center. Your hands are locked in a wood chamber, locked here. Your neck is locked right here, and you are bent forward on the city center for everyone to pass and see. That's Nathan Springer. And they might have a list of your crimes listed right there. Or better yet, they may have a, what they call those guys back in the day, man? The Herald. Hear ye, hear ye. Here stands one Nathan Springer, accused and found guilty of of the family so and so of the in living spot, so your whole family get embarrassed. That's the idea. That was very common human part, and it worked. Because people don't like embarrassment. And it's your community turning around and embarrassing you. So what it seems like to me is that in modern times now, people seem to think it's more humane to kill that person privately. Privately. We carry you in a room, one-on-one, give you a little injection, nothing dramatic. Just a little injection. And kill you. And your life ends. And that is more humane than some rotten tomato and bygone to feast.
Of course. Nothing wrong with the state murdering people, because it's the state, It's very humane that the state,
I'm sorry, Reeve.
It's people lie.
As much as you try to explain that, bro, I just will not get it. Reeve says, but me as a civilian, I don't want to be walking through Port of Spain with my bird and watching like a man getting licks by. Why not? You hear the commotion going on, like a public flogging going on there, boy. I wonder who that. Oh God! That's not Georgie, boy. Oh gosh! What he do, boy? And you go up close and you see the readout and every. Make it a community affair.
This talk.
It's become very normal. Few times, like very taboo, but I guess it become normal and be like, let's carry the kids to the public flogging. And the school carrying the church.
I don't think that would happen. I do not think that would happen, Rani.
It is the church that they want to prevent from getting to there.
Yes, so they will know it happens, they will glimpse it, but I don't think people would plan family outings to the public flooding.
Plenty of them too, boy. Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to do it right now, but yeah. The whole point, they're actually somewhere on the other street or something. Yeah. The whole point of the public thing is to make sure that community that you live in understand that punishment is coming with these certain actions that come with it. That was the whole point. It wasn't necessarily for the whole entertainment spectacle type of thing. This is not WWE. This is bold and beautiful. It was meant to understand that law and order is here to be founded. Right? You can't take your child down to the public execution grounds. That's crazy. Right? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. You see, this is the thing, right? Because you know how quick, because I know how quick you are going to change your words. If you start parading sexual assault through the streets, like in Game of Thrones, shame and ring a bell, plitting, and have them humiliated, you will have nothing to say, because the aggression is against women, and women are, oh God. and when that woman died some years ago, And they did the whole hand-holding thing all throughout the country. They was talking about public hangings. Public hangings. You see how quick all they want public hangings? You see how quick? You see how quick it is? You want to see a man neck snap on a rope? You see how quick it is? You see, this is the funny thing, is that in El Salvador, they'll say, listen, I have no problem with Bukele arresting every man jack that see you have a tattoo on them. And that's just how it goes. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago ain't going to bat an eye if criminals start getting publicly humiliated to the streets of Trinidad and Tobago. That's what this crime that we have. Maybe in a country like Sweden, you could probably get that.
As you say that, and you talk about Bukele, I remember when Bukele was doing his mass arrests, because Bukele built a massive prison, 40,000 person prison, and arrested them. And he embarrassed them. You all know that, right? Part of his method was to arrest them all on national television, strip them down to their boxers, and parade them handcuffed and bent over, doubled over, walking incapacitated, to show that they had no power. Human rights associations around the world kicked a fit. How dare he embarrass these humans like that? He is depriving them of their human rights. But when they were killing 2,500 people per year in El Salvador, the human rights associations did nothing for the rights of the humans being murdered. But the moment a society decides that we are going to treat with our criminals how we see fit, God forbid, so barbaric and unjust. How dare he embarrass them like that? So cruel, mean.
Of course, because
he's so mean.
Humiliation for criminals is just a no-no. We can't have that. We can't have that. We need to give them 4 square meals a day, make sure they get fat and come back out there and commit more crimes so they can go back. You know, the hypocrisy of human rights association activists is the most craziest thing possible, because they are the same people that will come right back out when something that they ideology align with is how quick the tables just turn. Just sound different. You know, the same human rights associations will say, "Oh my God, the inhumane Indian men in India, kill them all." And I was like, "Oh wait. So wait. You want to kill the men in India? You want to kill the men in India for what they're doing to men out there, but not Bukele arresting and locking up criminals." Such barbaric behavior. But you want to mass murder the men in India? That's crazy. What's the difference here?
Thank you very much, Reeve. Hotep, as you said about the human rights. In Trinidad, we have a very known example of that, you know. Do you all know who was at one point in time, if not the head, the second in charge of the Human Rights Association in Trinidad and Tobago? Our former Attorney General, 90s real former, one Mr. Ramesh Lawrence Maraj. Do you all know what else Mr. Ramesh Lawrence Maraj is notorious, famous for in Trinidad history? Hanging, was it 10? 10 men. So he was in charge of the Human Rights Association, lobbying against the death penalty before he became Attorney General. He was also the legal representation for one Mr. Chidi, allegedly. And then came into power, and it all spun around. In a dizzying pace, Chidi and his entire gang lost their heads. Y'all talk about things scarring the country. I remember watching blood-soaked pine box coffins being carried out of the prison. I don't know how many of you could show your age with that one, but I was always a news junkie. I saw that. Blood on the pine boxes being carried out the prison. and they said I think Joey Ramaya was a little too light to hang, so they had to put weight on his leg. Macabre stuff, public news. And that man was in charge of our Human Rights Association. Me and Alia, no thanks.
No, I'm not taking this serious at all. This could never be serious because no, humans get right down to what needs to be get down to. Like, listen, best believe if Trinidad reach a place where 800, 900 murders for the year all over Trinidad and Tobago, communities will take it right into their hands to effect justice, and there will be nothing the police service get nothing. Police service, then the government will literally come out and say, "Oh, we are in a pariah state, and the order is falling, anarchy is upon us." But no, it's not necessarily anarchy. It's just the fact that communities are fed up with the criminal elements within their country, and they're willing to execute to the fullest extent of their justice. You know, we talk about how jungle justice is an old thing, but that's just how the laws of the land used to take place.
That it's default justice, jungle justice. That's the point I was making earlier. That's default justice. People have a natural, innate lean towards wanting to get justice, but that's what you call jungle justice, because the problem with that is every individual will seek their own individual justice by their own individual means, and their version of justice may be unique and idiosyncratic for themselves. So that's a problem. That's why it's jungle justice, and that's why it's better if we have a system that we could all look to arrange and orient the justice for everyone. But as I keep saying, if that system fails, the human need for justice is not going to disappear. That's the point I try to make with all of these things. The human yearning, the human tendency, the human nature is there. The constructions, all of those are created with the backdrop of the human nature. They don't change the human nature. They attempt to work on top of the human nature, to work in spite of the human nature. They don't change the human nature. So if they stop working along with the human nature to benefit it, however it does, the human nature would resurface itself. It's like marriage. Marriage, the idea of marriage was to work to satisfy the human natural yearning for companionship, and the other sides of that. That's a natural human yearning. With or without the institution of marriage, that natural human yearning exists. If through the legal system we ruin the institution of marriage, no fault divorce, make it that one partner is rewarded for leaving, we ruin the system of marriage. Fewer people are interested in getting into that institution. Is that going to delete the human yearning for love and the human libido? No. The love and libido yearnings are still going to be very much there. People are just going to attempt to satisfy it outside of the marriage institution. So the institutions don't cultivate the nature. The nature is supposed to be suited to working alongside the institution. And when the institution moves away from suitability, we get problems. Jackie says, but some crimes deserve a different kind of justice, though I could agree with that. Reeves says, I just saying who need to get punished in hard labor, flogging, jail, whatever, just once it's in a building. Don't bring them thing to outside to be spoiling my scene. The murderers spoiling our scenery already. Leoline Bastien says, justice my style, an eye for an eye. I am digging that out. And that's jungle justice as they talk about. The problem with that is an eye for an eye leaves the world blind as they talk about. So I don't disagree that is what is the default justice system. I agree that is. And I think if we don't have a good justice system countrywide, society-wide, that is what is going to happen. but I don't think that's a good thing. You look in history, look back at society. For example, the Aztecs were some murderous people. Them used to kill people. Don't buy nobody Nancy story like the Aztecs were out there living in paradise until the evil white Europeans came. That's not true. They were some murderers. They killed a lot of people. They enjoyed it. But you know, the Aztecs, historically, had a less violent history than many of the plain tribes in the North American plains. Had a less violent history than the northern Vikings of like 7,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago. Why? Because one massive civilizational state, even if they are psychopathic in their tendencies and they are murderous, they bring enough order so that even if they murder people, the amount of general murdering happening all around the place decreases. Normal, every man for himself, eye for an eye, every dog on his own kind of thing has murders like rain. Because that's how the justice has to be sought. It's like why when the gangs lose the big gang leader, it erupts into violence. And if you have one big gang leader over a massive area, generally there's less violence. It's a reality.
Humans tend to have, humans tend to want order because anarchy is not suitable for necessarily human life, unless we're talking about just share before agriculture becoming a thing, possibly. But still, humans organize themselves into order, structure, rank and file. That's just how it goes. Humans like order because they tend to get best results from that. Humans don't want to operate in this eye for an eye. If he kill me, I kill he, and then we go for your whole family next time. That don't lead nowhere. That, like, you know, if people really take a look at Haiti and what's going on with Haiti and other countries that have fallen in that whole failed state thing, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
You all don't want to live like that. Do you all know what happens in the northern parts of Nigeria? You don't know what happens in the northern parts of Ethiopia, and these are countries that aren't failed states. You know? These countries have a government, but there's parts of the countries that just fall into disrepute, and look what happens. Could you even understand a gang in Trinidad running into a school, picking up your children and taking them somewhere up in the bush? That's crazy.
Crazy.
You would go insane. You always had to mash up the place, and rightfully so. But in terms of you mash up the place now, you mash up the whole place for every single body. Now every single body had to mash up the place too. So think about the things that are going on. You understand what I'm saying? And how we had to organize ourselves. Correct.
Very correct. And many people think that anyone remember the end of Hatfields and McCoys? No, I actually, they all die. Many people think like they want that jungle justice, you know, and in the moment you feel for it, but it never ends. That's the nature of that kind of thing. It doesn't end. That's why we have justice systems, because that eye for an eye leaves the world blind kind of thing isn't what we want. And that's why I was speaking about flogging. A little public licking every now and again. Maybe put them in stocks. Allow us to pelt them with some tomatoes and that kind of thing. Let us get that schadenfreude out. but it requires that level of state level punishment to keep things in order. Otherwise, we see that out there in Tobago. The Tobagonians were saying this with the police already there, that they are going to take revenge. And, well, there was a triple shooting, or was it 4 people shot after that in Tobago? Are we surprised? That's not going to end. I don't foresee that ending in Tobago. The only way that's going to end in Tobago is if the police make a big arrest and you hear probably 10 people arrested or something like that, and they go down into prison and then they're off the field. Other than that, I don't actually see that ending. The people who shot whichever 3 people those were, did they get all the people they wanted to kill? I have the feeling no. The people that they shot, do you think they have access to guns? I have the feeling maybe. Do you think they are going to want to get back at the people who just shot 3 of their friends? I have the feeling yes. Why would they not do it? The only thing that stops that is law enforcement. And if the law enforcement doesn't actually stop it, how does it stop? Eye for an eye, dig out everybody's eye. Dog eat dog and the last dog eat himself. Anyway, people, let's look to get into the wrap up there. Trini Hotep, get them your clothes in there, bro.
I think Ronnie wanted to say something.
What have a boy be?
Ronnie. Don't do me that, eh? And by the way, stop posting flat out nonsense to pop up on my Facebook timeline, eh?
I thought you guys would like it. I have fun listening to it. It's so much fun.
Stop it. I will block you. Anybody that goes down that flat earth line and all that with the firmament and these it's always trying not to be too insulting, but somebody who hasn't gone to church since they were 12, sure that they know all the deep exegesis of biblical scripture. We know what they really meant when they were saying so and so and so. And they're living in sin. Like, bro, what you talking about the firmament and God, you all have to listen to God, but you're not listening to God out here. But leave the wrong dirt and the globe and rest we now. Yeah, we are ease up.
Fine, I would stop.
Ronnie, you had something else to say, Ronnie?
I thought she had something.
But right. So no way. So the people on them and the last season last night is really like the person who they kill is who they. It seems like that's the person who they wanted to kill. Like the fella who I know he was going and buy a little plant for like substance and end up in the wrong place and the wrong time.
Yeah, that's tough.
But hard knocks. But yes, apart from that, let me be a mommy. If you want to put me in a kitchen, I go in a kitchen, I don't mind. I need to see all these things that will sadden my day and my life. Anyways, tonight when I had a fun,
Ronnie,
any on your incel movement.
What?
But Ronnie, I have a child.
I said Trini.
How am I an incel?
Kinda. I mean,
How?
because
It was an incel is somebody who is involuntarily celibate.
the whole time, all they want to do is complain. And they want to think we want to kill the man for this and that. Only because it's affecting women. But that is probably not the only reason. Like, what is your whole answer keep tying back to women this, like women that.
Well, how is that incel? You see, you don't have to stop using these words. No, because well, yes, that's true, but but the words, no, I get that, but you can't just use words really just like that.
That's part of
No,
the
because
no,
that's called an intersection. No, that's called an intersection because there are incels that don't hate and they just can't get anyone. So exactly. So here's the thing. No, I'm not, because I'm not involuntarily celibate. Speaks to that certain thing. And I only tied back this conversation to women in certain parts, is because we understand the shock value of in certain things that happen to women in society, because apparently today's society is very women focused and oriented. So women could understand certain things, right? We don't want this inhumane stuff, but it becomes very humane when it happens to women. That's the point I'm trying to get around to. I don't hate women. That's crazy, though. I don't even understand how that tie into. You know what? I really want to see that you think should have come my incel for the whole night, because I actually want to talk about the Tanticams commentators. That's what I actually want to talk about today. The Tanticams commentators, corporate lawyers, and the estheticians. I want to talk about those women that are come my incel whole night. Sure.
If we had talked about that Trini Hotel.
Exactly. It's like
No. You can't put me on that. It's not like I am, this big feminist, but at the end of the day, it have things that you could say without trying to throw women on that one. And I feel like it was
so like Rani, for future notice, go with misogynist first. Misogynist means you hate women. It means you hate women. But misogynist isn't necessarily an insult. It just means you're a bad person kind of way. When you tell somebody they're an incel, you understand what incel means?
Yes, I do actually.
For you to be the in is the important part in the cell. Because you could be cell. There are many people who are cell. The cell is the right thing to be. You are cell until you marry. That's good, God-fearing way to live. The in means that you have been trying and you can't get.
Actually, a lot of them stopped trying because they didn't get. So they were like,
well, at some point in time you had to have tried to know that it's involuntary. You want. Involuntary means you want and you can't get. Ronnie.
exactly.
What you saying out here?
I see it as I said what I said.
That is fighting words. Those are fighting words. You know, Trini Hotel, to go down, let me go down the Red Pill Road by Hotel. To go down the road. What I notice a lot of the time in these conversations is many times the men say frank things and many times women purposefully try to insult. Like the man versus bear thing was an attempt to insult. The incel accusation is an insult. They look at men with children. They look at Ben Shapiro out there. Okay, he's a short, unique Jew, but he has babies. He obviously isn't incel. And they call him an incel. It's an insult. They mean to insult you when they say that. When the red pill says women are hypergamous, that women generally attempt to go for better than themselves, that isn't meant as an insult. It's meant as an observation. That's not the same thing. And I dislike that. That was my issue with the man versus bear thing. And all these gaslighters who all about the place, all these rainbow people and women all about the place trying to tell us, no, don't be angry about this. Look inside yourself and know why it is that women trust a bear more. No, I will not. I don't care. You are insane. You are wrong. I don't care. You are attempting to insult men on a wrong narrative. And that's where the incel thing comes in too. They throw that all around the place, incel, to people who are not incels. And then even if someone is an incel, you think telling them that is necessary? You think a man is not aware if he's an incel? Oh, trust me, he is most aware. So by telling him it, you mean that as an insult.
And This is the Goebbels effect. This is when you propagandize words in order to shame, and it's not even used in the correct context. That's why words are losing their meaning today, right?
That's not true.
Okay. Yes. Right. That is why when men come on Twitter and they actually tell women the truth. No, that's incel rhetoric, because you don't want to actually face the truth, so let's use a shaming word that is actually meant to shame in order to try to shame. That's not how this works.
That's how it is.
Like,
I have had several conversations with both of you all, right? Do you not believe that I cannot take truth?
no, Ronnie.
Right. No, but wait.
I'm not talking to you when I'm talking here, just so you know.
No, when I'm saying, right? I have recognized, and it's not just tonight, I listen, observe, and all kind of thing. And I find that we're going down a path of incel, because, like, sir, what's your problem with feminism?
Well, Ronnie, Ronnie, Hotep is right, you're using the wrong term, because what you're attempting to say is misogyny. You think it's going down a path of woman hatred, not involuntary celibacy. What are you talking about? That's a different thing, and that's the point I am making. What you mean, not tonight, Nisi, but we spoke about that before. What you mean to say is, it seems a little misogynistic. Something here seems like there's a little woman hatred. There's a little more dislike for women than necessary. That's a different thing than saying these men here are so lousy they can't get a woman to sleep with them. Because that's what you see when you say incel. You are saying that this is going down a road where you all are sounding like you all are so lousy that no woman will sleep with you. What? I don't think that's the correct description you are looking for here. And just to make it known, I don't think the insulting thing is only on the woman's side exclusively. I think that is the part of the red pill that gets people annoyed. The part that many of those men, many of those red pill men, the fresh and fit in particular, they purposefully set out to insult women to make content. So you watch their podcast and they say women suck at everything. Women, women are just lousy. Women just suck at everything. And no, what they are attempting to say is they are attempting to say that men perform better than women at most job type tasks. That's
like, leave. Please just leave.
That men perform better than women at job like tasks. That's what they're trying to say. But they purposefully say it as women suck at everything to insult. It's a purposeful insult. And I think they are acting very womanish when they do things like that, because they are doing that with the purpose of making emotional digs with the plausible deniability that I didn't insult you, I'm just speaking the truth. And that's what women do when they say the things like incel towards people who are obviously not incels. It's an insult.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting stuff.
Anyway, we were on the close, eh?
Time before they would like me to change my words. I believe I have experienced a bit of misogynistic tendencies from my fellow guest here tonight.
And still that's wrong. That's crazy.
It's not wrong.
Oh, read back in the brief said don't apologize, stay strong. Listen, I agree. Start 10 toes. No,
I did not apologize.
I know.
Roddy said she said what she said.
But if it would make things better for you all to hear the term that would...
It would make things better at all, Ronnie. I am just saying, in my view, what you are describing is not what you are saying. And then if that's the case, it seems to be that you are attempting to say something other than what you're saying. And that's regularly the thing that bothers me, you know. And I speak about this with, I mean, I have a woman that I live with. I speak about this with her too, but it's a difference between the communication styles of men and women too. So the women insult you by saying, I rather get mauled by a bear, because they're trying to tell you something. While for a man, tell me what you're trying to tell me now. So you go ahead saying something that is obviously not correct with word and meaning, because you mean to highlight something that you mean to highlight. All right. I think you and Trini Hotep should have all your own debate some night. We'll come on and you all could square it out. I'll pack a mug this big, so I'll just sip my coffee the entire life, and we'll see if Hotep is indeed an incel, or if Ronnie is a feminist out here, or what. Next thing you know is love at first. Well, anyway, let's look to go. This has been the Mindful Live. I am Nathan Spring. I hope you're educated, informed, or entertained.
Be mindful, not mindless. It's as simple as that.
Be mindful, not mindless. You know, being with someone who you have a rapport with, even if it's you know, a little frictious in the beginning, it makes for fireworks. It makes for entertainment.
Do people even know what the word rapport means? Let's cut the live. Let's cut the live. What is it? Let's cut the live.
Ronnie, have a discussion with the guy. Latest people. Enjoy, I'm out. Bye-bye.